I am at the Diplomatic Studies reunion here in central London. The Diplomat Studies has been running since back in the 1980s right up until 2025, and it's still continuing. And we were here today in central London enjoying and rejoicing and mingling and just having a nice time having this reunion. And we've met with some really interesting people, lots of interesting people that have got really further in their studies and have become diplomats and ambassadors and have been really successful. It's been a really great evening of entertainment, food, and just great networking today. And now we're going to take some interviews with some of the guests today that are here attending. Let's take a look at that.
Well, I'm delighted to be here and meet some of my great alumni who are serving now in different countries as ministers, ambassadors, high commissioners, working as lecturers at universities as well. So it's a team coming from different universities, University of Westminster, East Anglia, and also Loughborough University. All these graduates have obtained master's degrees in diplomacy, and also some of them have been awarded doctorate, PhD theses or degrees in different diplomacy and related disciplines.
It feels absolutely wonderful. The most beautiful thing about it today is meeting the student, once student, now alumni, meeting them once again and see the move forward in their life. I am totally blessed to be among these wonderful people.
And it must be so great to see the progress of the people.
It is, absolutely, because after the course they've gone and they haven't forgotten us and we haven't forgotten them. And I am always in touch with the alumni, seeing their progress, seeing their life ahead and seeing what they have achieved.
In 1980 I started the training at the University of Westminster by a small group of 24 diplomats. One of them was a lady, and the rest were men. Now, luckily, we have more females studying diplomacy and international relations than before. Hence, we see many ambassadors in the UK. Before, we had only one ambassador in 1980. She was the High Commissioner of Canada. Today, we have, I think, more than 40 ambassadors, females, in the UK.
So where the course was, the Masters in Diplomatic Studies, was based first at the University of Westminster under the Department of the Diplomatic Academy of London. And then we run the course in another two other universities, which is University of East Anglia and Loughborough University. So all these alumni here are together, did the same course, and they have met and they are going to meet again in future.
In the past, it was a kind of different, more settled, stable international system when I was earlier lecturing, and it's now a system that is potentially fragmenting and disintegrating and rearranging itself, and that becomes a more dangerous time. And when that happens, it's very difficult for diplomacy. But the paradox is, it's more important that diplomacy must try to manage change and rearrangements of power, etc., in a peaceful manner, if possible. And if not in a peaceful manner, then in a manner that mitigates the change in a way that doesn't involve too much suffering. And therefore, diplomacy is very important, both publicly and also non-publicly, and there must almost be an element of non-public diplomacy. And that is a problem that then involves diplomacy with the media and their electorates and their people.
Diplomats are custodians of national interest, and you cannot put a premium or a price on national interest. Everybody is keen on protecting his or her own national interest. Especially the newly independent states, the small states who come from small islands, etc. And they have to study diplomacy, because diplomacy is not politics as such. It's the promotion of business and trade as well as culture. And when we speak about culture, because we have many countries, cultural diplomacy is very important in terms of not only projection, how you project your culture, but perception, how you are perceived by the way you are behaving or reacting to certain issues or crises.
But one of the key skills is to understand the other side. You need an empathy and an understanding of who you're negotiating with and their problems and their historical experience, etc., whilst at the same time not being seduced into not taking account of your own national interest.
I mentioned the Hydra monster, which confronted Hercules. Hercules used to kill one head and two heads would sprout out, because diplomacy is the child of changing times. I mean, persuasion, negotiation, dealing with security, defending the national interests, not only national interests, but also the citizens of the country who are living in a foreign country, because they have to deal with them, to protect them, ensure that they are secure, etc. And continuing education, because as I said, the Hydra today is a mutating environment. We used to compare the Hydra to terrorism, then the Hydra to the media, and then Hydra to IT. Today Hydra is with digital diplomacy. So diplomacy, as I said, in the 1980s used to be a minor branch of international relations. Today it has become a discipline unto itself.
Let me start with my experience in London at Diplomatic Academy of London in University of Westminster. That was back in late 1990s. So in 1999 I started, and it was such a brilliant experience with lots of my colleagues from all over the world. At that time I was working for the Parliament of Mongolia, International Relations, and this is where I met many of my colleagues of today, and we still actually go out on tours, meet up for coffee, dinner. We go for events, horse racing, polo, and lots of different events. So lots of my colleagues have high positions as High Commissioner, ambassadors at embassies, or government officials, and it's really inspiring to see how far we came. And I've been cultural envoy of Mongolia for the last 10 years, so It's something that we've learned at this university. On this course, we are implementing this, and it was a great pleasure to be part of the organizing committee. And as a producer, I was asked by Fatma, our administrator, who's doing a really great job, and with her leadership, I helped behind the scenes to bring everything together, and I think everyone is enjoying it, and so pleased to see happy faces. For me, the most important thing I learned from here, from this school, was cultural diplomacy, and it's soft power, because lots of nations go for hard power, full on, and lots of smaller nations, including Mongolia, where I come from, we rely on soft power diplomacy. So we always use cultural diplomacy, culture, to promote our country, to be friendly with the other nations.
I showed a few pictures before about diplomats working for foreign ministries and governments, but also we had groups of graduates who are working with top organizations, international and regional organizations. And I have here, I must admit, my nephew, Dr. Ziad Ayad.
Diplomatic Academy of London, we had a campus in Paris. And at that time, our student could do 1 semester in London and 1 semester in Paris. They guess what I'm going to say. And Jessica, who was in Paris, came to do the 2nd semester in London and met Dimitri. And they got married. They fell in love, they got married.
I'm enjoying the evening very much, and it's very good to see that the efforts of the lecturers and people I worked with have had some very pleasant results.
Yeah. Thank you, Shazia and Meriem. It is a great pleasure and honor actually to be here. Professor Ayad has taken, and the several professors, lecturers, and dear Fatma have taken us through, diplomatic studies, and we have great memories. At the reunion, we see international, diplomats from different countries here representing, and over several years, decades, I should say, present here today. It is a special feeling, and also it gives us emotional touch to what we are and what we were, what we have learned through, gone through different experiences as diplomats or learning young diplomats. And also the people are the most important factor in our life. I think some of them left us, which is very sad. But as we have gone through after graduation, life changes, our circumstances, our families, we live through, and portfolios as well changes. International, we cross boundaries, countries, and I think regions, we should say, we have kept in touch, networking. It's a special feeling, irrespective of which class you are or graduated, you have good friends from the Diplomatic Academy. And there are also not only the Diplomatic Academy of London, of Westminster University, but we have different universities, East London and I think Leicester University Diplomatic Studies students. So all of them throughout the years with different ages and cultures, nations, we come together here. I am from the Maldives. This is the Maldives national dress. Maldives is a 100% Muslim country, an island country. We are also a small island state. Tourism is our leading industry, and we are also proud of the fact that we champion as climate change advocates. We are also very much attuned to what's happening in our region, as well as the Islamic countries, as well as what's going on in international relations. We, I think, believe that even though it is a small country, one vote counts. And that, with the fact that we are actually expressing our voice and our stand is important.
It was nice to be here today because I met people whom I didn't meet for, can you imagine, for 30 years. Professor Roger McNellan. Just met him today, and last I think I've seen him in 1995 at the University of Westminster. So it's good. I've seen people coming from all the way, from India, from Emirates, from France, from different places. Almost every single one, with no exception, every single one is either they set up big institutions by themselves for diplomatic studies, or they are working at the UN, they are working in big agencies, they are university professors by themselves for now, and some of them are in politics and diplomacy, many ambassadors, many working in foreign offices and so on. So it's amazing. It's amazing to catch up with people I didn't see for between the last 20, 30 years. I didn't see them.